Welcome, it's Denome. As you can see, the price of Bitcoin is now $97,000, almost 100,000. But that's just the beginning because MicroStrategy, an IT company, they have a plan to make Bitcoin become $13 million per Bitcoin. So in this video, you will learn exactly what is the strategy of MicroStrategy, how it works, and why it is causing a massive Bitcoin bubble. I will talk about the upside and the downside, but first, let's actually look at the price of Bitcoin compared to the price of MicroStrategy stock. So this is the MicroStrategy stock. This is the stock of Bitcoin or the price of Bitcoin. As you can see, they are almost 1-to-1. The only difference here is that when we measure the price move from the bottom of 2022, you can see that MicroStrategy stock has went up roughly 3,700%, whereas the price of Bitcoin has only went up roughly 500% from its bottom of 2022. Now, why is MicroStrategy going up? Is because they own a lot of Bitcoin and they have a crazy strategy behind buying Bitcoin. So let's actually unpack how it works. So here, just a few days ago, we got an announcement that MicroStrategy bought additional $4.6 billion worth of Bitcoin. And right now, they own over $17 billion worth of Bitcoin already. And they are buying more and more and more and more Bitcoin. So how can they afford buying more and more and more Bitcoin? The answer is their strategy. So what are they doing? The answer is they are issuing something called MicroStrategy convertible bonds. And what these convertible bonds are is they are essentially loans where you are gaining, get this, 0% interest rate. On paper, that's a terrible idea, right? Because on the market, you can probably get 5-6% easily if you give out a debt. But with MicroStrategy, you get 0% interest rate. Makes no sense. But here is the kicker. And the kicker is in the name convertible, because you can convert this debt into MicroStrategy stock. And the conversion rate is $767 per share. So investors who buy this bond have the right, but no obligation to buy MicroStrategy share at $767 in 2029. This is called a call option. And if the price is below $767, then the investors get their money back with 0% interest rate. So they either don't lose money or they make a lot of money with the MicroStrategy stock. This is the call option that they issue. Now, why this is important is here. So there is a $200 trillion debt market right now. $200 trillion, just imagine the number. Now, the price of Bitcoin right now, or the market cap of Bitcoin, is $1.2 trillion, or now it's even more, obviously. But by the time that they made this tweet here, it was $1.2 trillion. That is the start here. But this is where it gets interesting. So this is a tweet of a person who met with a manager at a large investment fund. And they were talking about MicroStrategy. So this guy asked the manager of this financial institution a couple of questions. How many billions in pension funds does your firm manage? He said, well, roughly 12-digit number, which is hundreds of billions of dollars. Then he asked the second question. How many of those pensions are restricted from buying anything other than fixed income securities? He said around 30 to 35%. And here I have to have a pause, because a fixed income security, that means basically you're only able to buy bonds practically bonds. So anyway, they cannot get the risk. That is the problem of these pension funds. Then he asked the critical question, how many of those 30 to 35% of pension funds that cannot buy a risk, how many of those are underfunded or fucked? He said around 90%. That was the holy shit moment here. So why this is important is, and I'm trying to hammer this for people who don't understand it because it took me a while to understand it also. These pension funds are fucked because they don't have enough capital. Their investments are underwater. So they cannot give back the amount of capital that they've taken in. So they are practically, even though they are dealing with bonds or debt, they are in debt to their investors and they cannot pay back their debt. The only way these pension funds, this 30 to 35% of pension funds, the only way they can get out of the underwater situation is if they can get access to risk and they win the bet. So what MicroStrategy has created is this convertible bond where they get 0% interest rate, but they can gamble with the stock price of MicroStrategy. So through a legal loophole, suddenly these pension funds, which had no feasible strategy to pay back their investors, suddenly they have a way of escaping bankruptcy through MicroStrategy convertible bonds. I hope you already understand the power of this strategy. So practically what it means is that MicroStrategy, what they do is they go into the market, they buy Bitcoin, then they issue the convertible bonds, which is practically selling the MicroStrategy stock, and then they get the capital to buy more Bitcoin. Then they sell more stock, buy Bitcoin, sell more stock, buy Bitcoin, sell more stock, buy Bitcoin. And as they buy more Bitcoin, the price of MicroStrategy stock goes up. And as the price of MicroStrategy price goes up, they are able to buy more Bitcoin. And because Bitcoin has a limited supply, that causes the price of Bitcoin to go up as well, which causes the reserve value of the assets of MicroStrategy to go up, essentially making the price of MicroStrategy to go up and up and up. So as both of those asset prices go up, then they can issue more bonds as long as people have confidence in the company. Now, where this can go wrong, this can go wrong here. When the price of Bitcoin continues to go to the upside, continues to climb to the upside, eventually there will be a point where investors think like, no, Bitcoin price will no longer go up. And when they think the price of Bitcoin no longer go up, then they obviously also think that why would I give out a 0% interest loan if I will never, ever, ever get my money back from this MicroStrategy stock? When they think that, then obviously they will not buy these convertible bonds anymore. But as of now, every single time MicroStrategy have issued these bonds, they have been oversubscribed and they are sold within minutes or hours. So at least as of now, there's a lot of demand from these underwater pension funds to buy these convertible bonds. So this bubble will continue to go up for a while. I don't know how high Bitcoin price will go, but as long as the MicroStrategy CEO, Michael Saylor, as long as he's signaling that he will continue to buy more Bitcoin, and people have confidence in MicroStrategy and they have confidence in the asset class of Bitcoin, then this obviously can go for quite a while. So from what is Bitcoin right now, it is $2 trillion in market cap. It can go up quite a while because, as you saw, this is a $200 trillion asset class, these different bond markets or debt markets. And now there is a system where these underwater pension funds can gain access to potential gains through the MicroStrategy stock. But obviously there are risks, and eventually the interest will die out of this strategy. And then when Bitcoin price starts to go down, obviously the stock price of MicroStrategy starts to go down also, which is causing the people not to buy these bonds for a while. and that can cause a cascading effect where obviously the price of Bitcoin suddenly lacks buyers, and if it lacks buyers, then the price of Bitcoin will start going to the downside. But that will be not the end of Bitcoin, but it will be the end of the bubble, at least for a while. Now, personally, I believe this is practically speaking a Ponzi scheme. I'm not saying it is, but practically it kind of is. And it is a legal Ponzi scheme. Let's say that. I don't want to give technical terms. I don't want to get into trouble, but practically speaking, it is creating a bubble. And I think this strategy will be patched at some point with legal, basically banning this strategy with legal terms. But as of now, this is still legal. It is 100% feasible, viable, and people will abuse it for as long as it is available, as long as they think the price of Bitcoin will continue to go to the upside. And there are other reasons why Bitcoin will go to the upside. Obviously, Donald Trump, when he was campaigning to become the president, he promised that he will create a Bitcoin strategic reserve for United States, practically forcing United States to go to the market and buy Bitcoin. And if that is to happen, obviously the price of Bitcoin will go to the upside, and that will also cause the MicroStrategy, the reserves of MicroStrategy to go to the upside, and the stock probably goes to the upside also. Now, how high can this, let's call it premium, because right now MicroStrategy is trading at a premium compared to the price of Bitcoin. I don't know how much further the premium can go, because right now, if you take a look at the reserve assets of MicroStrategy compared to the assets that they compared to the stock value of MicroStrategy, I think the market cap is roughly 3 times higher than the reserves. So I don't know if it can go to 4x or 5x, but if you want to play it safe, you probably want to buy just Bitcoin. And if you want to trade Bitcoin, as you know, I am sponsored by Bybit. So Bybit is the exchange where I trade Bitcoin. And with my affiliate link, you can get an extra 500 USDT airdrop. You simply have to come to this website, deposit money, and do the activities that are laid out in here, and you can get an extra 500 USDT through Bybit. But that is the strategy MicroStrategy is using with Bitcoin. And Michael Saylor has said that every single Bitcoin that you don't buy will cost you $13 million. So he says that Bitcoin price will reach eventually $13 million, which would be right about here. And as you can see, well, I was scrolling up, you cannot even see the price action from here. So I don't know how long it will take for Bitcoin to reach there, but as you can see, the potential gain is 15,000%. So if this strategy is allowed to work, and if it works as beautifully as it has worked so far, then I don't know, maybe we will see $13 million Bitcoin, and when we might see Bitcoin millionaires, we might even see Bitcoin billionaires as a result of this strategy. But as I said, this is a bubble and eventually it will burst. It's not going to be the end of Bitcoin, but as of now, people can still ride the wave to the upside. If you want to follow me for short-term ideas for Bitcoin, medium terms ideas, for long-term ideas, consider subscribing to the channel and join our Discord for extra discussion also. Thanks for watching this video, and final note, the link for the Bybit is in the description. Thanks for watching. I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.